Dreams are one of those things that are universal to the human experience, and yet we still don't fully understand them, even to this day. And they do play an important role in the Bible. God often speaks through dreams. An angel appears to Joseph, Jesus' father, in a dream and assures him about Mary's pregnancy. Daniel has dreams that predict the future. So how significant are dreams from a theological perspective? Does God still work through dreams today, or have we lost that spiritual sensitivity that we used to have? And what does the Bible have to say? Let's take a look. So dreams. In the ancient world, they were widely viewed as these spiritually significant things, sacred, divinely inspired messages. Cultures like the ancient Greeks and the Egyptians and the Mesopotamians, they all saw dreams as a way to communicate with the divine. Many ancient Near Eastern cultures viewed sleep as like this threshold. Your body would rest, but your soul would venture into the spirit realm. And so, like many things in Scripture, God works within cultural paradigms. He communicates to us in ways that we understand and expect Him to. But like God often does, He'll take a cultural norm or perspective and flip it and use it as a means to teach us about Him and His will. And this is kind of what He does with dreams. In Egypt, for example, they believed that dreams could be decoded. The different things that you saw in your dreams were symbols, and they had this thing called the Book of Dreams that they used to interpret what people saw when they were sleeping. And in Genesis 41, Pharaoh saw images of cows and grain, but his magicians and interpreters were powerless to help him understand. Only Joseph, empowered by God, knew their meaning. And it points back to God. In Genesis 41:16, we're told, "I cannot do it," Joseph replied to Pharaoh, "but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires." God was communicating a truth in dreams, but it wasn't a truth that could be identified through human understanding. It had to be revealed by God, by a relationship with God. We see a similar thing in Daniel when King Nebuchadnezzar demanded an interpretation of his dream. And Daniel credited it to God when he says, "It's the God of heaven who reveals these mysteries." So theologically speaking, dreams are one of several ways that God uses to communicate with people. But it's not a communication channel that can be manipulated or controlled. Numbers 12:6 tells us, "When there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, reveal myself to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams." Yet even this prophetic gift is limited. Ecclesiastes 5:3 tells us, "A dream comes with much busyness." In other words, dreams are not always from God. Sometimes they're just a product of a restless mind. So not all dreams come from God, but God has definitely used dreams and spoken to people in the Bible through dreams. We already mentioned Joseph, the father of Jesus, being protected from Herod's wrath, and then again when returning to Nazareth. These are all things communicated to him through dreams. We see also in Genesis 20, when Abimelech is told in a dream not to take Abraham's wife, protecting both Abimelech and Sarah from sin. So God has communicated in dreams, but is that still true today? It does seem like He does this a lot less, at least not quite as commonly or authoritatively as He used to. And part of this might be cultural. We don't ascribe the same meaning to dreams today as we did back then. But another part of this is that God's revelation was incomplete before Christ. So God used dreams as a means of communicating His will, of filling in those gaps. But then Hebrews 1:1-2 makes this transition explicit. In the past, God spoke to our ancestors through the prophets at many times and in various ways, but in these last days, He has spoken to us through His Son. Christ is the culmination of revelation. Everything God intended humanity to know about Him has been revealed through Christ. But Scripture does leave the door open for that to still be a means of communication. We see see in Joel 2:28, and it's affirmed again in Acts 2:17, that in the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your young men will see visions, your old men will dream dreams. And we're living in the last days, and there's no expiration date on that promise. And also, many believers around the world, especially in areas that don't have access to scripture or in areas where Christians are very much persecuted, these people report vivid dreams that have led them to Christ or divine truth. So I would say this: God can communicate through dreams. He has and he does. But keep in mind 1 John 4:1. Do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. But I'd love to hear from you. Have you had any dreams where God has revealed something to you? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please feel free to like and subscribe. It does help out the channel. I'll leave the verses used today in the description. My name is Adam. This is Bargain Theology, and remember, you get what you pay for.